Every year, the small town of Entokozweni in Mpumalanga undergoes an extraordinary transformation. My Body, My Space Public Arts Festival brings together art education programs, public performance that ranges from award-winning contemporary dance to international features. Well, happening from the 7th to the 14th of March 2026. And perhaps we'll share a little bit more about the festival. What's going to happen this year? We're going to be joined by Artistic Director Tshego Khutsoane. Tshego, good morning and thank you for your time at this hour.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
That time of the year again. Let's talk about this year's edition, My Body, My Space. Tell us what's in store for this edition.
Oh, it's so exciting the way that artists this year are interrogating how the body carries memory. Artists from as young as our children to the international artists that are coming through, because we put out a call to invite expressions of interest and the kinds of conversations already that are happening with people interrogating how memory is stored in the body, how it's personal, how it's cultural, how it's political memory, and doing that through dance and theater, sight responsive work and song. Our artists this year are really asking how our bodies hold land and labor and gender and history, because the space is never neutral. I mean, it's in the name.
Yep.
And neither is the body. And the festival is really excited to have artists every year, but especially this year, really exploring the relationship between the two.
Well, speaking about this relationship and embodying what, memory it holds, I know it's important that each year you bring children from rural communities to experience the festival. And so when we look at the journey and what has been some of the success stories from these that obviously, or from those who previously attended, perhaps you can tell us a little bit more about that conscientizing, that seed that had been sown and watered as well.
What is incredible, just to speak about the trajectory of children to adult, what's incredible that we're seeing a lot since we've been in the location in rural Mpumalanga for 15 years, for 11 years now, and so as the festival, we are essentially raising children through the arts. And we're seeing the incredible progress of young people coming through our local education and arts programs, entering into our tertiary level programs, entering into the platform, the professional platform that essentially My Body, My Space is, and just being launched into international work. Just this past year, we've been watching 3 graduates of our programs perform in Mozambique, in Botswana, and do things that they are updating us on that are quite exciting.
I love what you said, raising the children through the arts, because as the baton is handed, as the baton is handed over, you're also featuring quite a number of celebrated choreographers this year. Let's focus on the work of Vincent Kokomantswe, his contribution, but also the international guests that you have up on the lineup, and how the skills are also imparted, how this adds to the depth of what's being unearthed.
Yeah, we bring artists together that are professional, that are emerging, and that are community.
Yes.
It's intergenerational, it's collaborative. It's not about presenting work at a community, it's about making work with one. And anytime that Vincent enters into any kind of event, it is as if it's a masterclass. So we're looking forward to his engaging with our young people, to his transfixing us, as he always does. We're looking forward to entering into conversation with some of our Spanish, well, I say some of our, but it's one Spanish artist and cultural practitioner who is bringing a wealth of wisdom. We have an artist from Finland who explores the land and heritage through song. And we have an artist from Namibia who is going to be exploring the spiritual aspect. So quite similar, entering into the international conversation with Ndate Vincent, and an artist from the UK who's going to be speaking to the water, the environmental impact of water and how it's the source of all of us.
Oh my gosh, that's how you root
Am I right?
people. No, I was like, it's how you root people. It's how you know where you're headed because you know where you come from and you understand on all aspects what it encompasses, mental, spiritual, emotional. And so when we look at this edition, I mean, the Community Arts Center Expo also, perhaps highlighting the creative initiatives from across Mpumalanga. Perhaps share a little bit more about what that is also going to entail. What else is happening in the festival as it continues?
We're celebrating 5 years of acting as the implementing agency for the local province, facilitated by the national province in conversation with the local province. And we have had exposed range of community arts centers and practitioners. I think that's an all-encompassing word that's good to use from across the province who are doing incredible work. So this year at the expo, we have a range of them exhibiting their work. So it's from crafts to fashion to theater to music. We have a selection of opera-focused artists this year that are going to blow our minds. We also have a pitch session, so a series of pitches. We've invited those art centers to pitch around their works and their initiatives. We're going to have a panel of leading thinkers in the creative and cultural industries, and we're going to be awarding some of these art centers while incentivizing them to catapult these ideas and to carry on the work that they're doing. Yeah, and this is the first of its kind as a marker of celebrating the 5 years of work as a way of connecting these art centers, because we often work in little pockets doing amazing things, but we don't know each other.
Yeah.
And working towards having an ecosystem where we are visible to one another and can lean on one another is very important to FATSI. And so the expo is becoming another vehicle alongside the festival to do that.
So Tshego, this is about the great remembering then. And so 5 years in, if we're looking at how we're going to reclaim our body and our power through this initiative, what does it look like for you?
For me, it looks like inviting, I don't think we're curious enough.
Ooh.
It's about inviting people to come as they are, to be curious, to be open, to meet the bear, because it's site specific work, it's site responsive, to be bare with the spaces that we are, to be what is the English that I'm looking for? To be meditative, for lack of better English, right? In the way that I've spoken to interrogating the relationship between body and space, but to be ready to experience something unexpected. The festival is free, it's outdoors, and it's for everyone. So I think I would love to see and hear people speak to a renewed sense of belonging and perhaps a shifted perspective on the spaces that they move through every day.
Yeah, because it's about being,
Because at a
yes?
time that so many of us are feeling disconnected from each other. I mean, just seeing the news this morning is insane. We're feeling disconnected from each other, from the land, literally from our own bodies. We carry so much trauma. Gathering in shared space to witness one another, to be witnessed in space live, feels urgent. So it feels quite timely and necessary, to the point of that you were just making when you started with your question prompt. It feels timely.
Yeah, it seems like the act of revolution, right? To be where your feet
Yes.
are. And creating those safe spaces, even if it's within as well. I wonder if we're looking at what it means to take up space as well from here. And two, what's the promise that you would like to impart to all those watching? Also encourage people to come and support and attend as you continue to grow from strength to strength 5 years on.
You belong. There's room for you. You won't be surprised, and anybody asking you for any kind of money or jojo to take up space here. You will encounter delicious oddness on a street corner or in a community hall or in a schoolyard. You will encounter somebody from a different walk of life. Hopefully, if you are open, a promise I can make is, if you're open, you will be transformed and you will connect, and you will meet new expression. It isn't theater behind closed doors. I can promise you that. It's theatre in the parks. We're literally revamping a local park that's been abandoned and been home to animals. And we've approached the animals and said, can we collaborate with you?
Sure.
We just want to work with these open windows and doors and put performances in there.
Wow.
You know? Yeah.
So I mean, we're gonna have to leave our conversation there. I feel like we could just drop the mic now. You have really painted that picture. Thank you for your time and thank you for your energy and for showing us that we can take up space through this 5th edition, My Body, My Space 2026 Public Arts Festival. You heard it there. Returns for the 5th year, activating public school community spaces across Entokozweni, of course, in Mpumalanga province. Again, thank you to Tshego for joining us here and chatting a little bit more about that.